Hello and welcome. Sorry, I had someone calling me and I'm like, hang up. If you are on, say hello. Hi, Anne. Hi, Barbara. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Kim. How is everybody doing this evening if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, or how is everybody doing this morning if you're over here in the Southern Hemisphere? Hello, Hayley. Hello, Pam. Hello, Heather. Hello, Maria. Hello, Laurie. How are you? I'm well, thank you, Paul. Thanks for asking. Hello, Kelsey. Hi, Beth. Guys, please take a moment to share this live. We will be doing some important discussions here, which will give you, each of you, the ability to, over time, connect with the broader part of you. Blessings to you too, Casey. So I wanted to take this time. I get a lot of messages in Messenger asking for, thank you so much, Casey, I appreciate that, asking for assistance because life isn't going the way you hoped. Hello, Chad. Life isn't the experience that you are preferring. So I wanted to take this opportunity to share with you some of the things that I believe to be true. I wanted to give each and every one of you the power and the control of your life back to you. I want you to understand how powerful you are. And I want for each and every one of you from this moment on to take the wheel. Take the wheel and drive your life in the direction you prefer. So I believe that this is probably one of the most important discussions. So because personally I deem it as one of the most important discussions, I would really appreciate from the bottom of my heart if you could share this out, because I want as many people as I can to begin to experience life with the power back within them. So if you could please, I would be eternally grateful if you could please share this, because I believe that there are too many people experiencing life in a way that is unfavorable to them. And I want everybody to know that you are the creator of your own experience. Jesus said, we are made in the image of God. I want us to take some of that power. If we are made in his image, then we are all powerful, are we not? Now, not everybody is going to agree with absolutely everything that I am going to say today. And that is 100% expected and fine. What I do want you to extract is what feels right for you. I want you to extract what seems like an important piece of information for you. Not everyone is going to resonate with every last piece of information or knowledge or perspective that I'm going to share, and I am aware of that. And that is not the point. The point is, if you walk away with a handful of things that make you feel in control, then I have done my job here. Thank you for sharing, everybody. I really, really appreciate it. Just a little note, we will not be doing any readings right now. This is about you guys. This is about the amount of messages I get daily. Hi, Shada. This is about the amount of messages I get daily with people saying to me, Addie, life is not going in the direction that I prefer, and I am having a hard time. I want you to know that as the creator of your own experience, you can now start to recognize that you are source consciousness in a physical body. You are experiencing things through your belief systems. When something feels good to you, then you have a belief within you that says that this is a good experience. When something does not feel good to you, then you have a belief within you that says that this is a negative experience. But all experiences are actually neutral. All experiences in life are neutral, and you decide whether it is a positive one or a negative one. And the way we decide it is through our belief systems. I want you to know that your higher mind, your higher self, as it's called sometimes, is actually not on top of you. It is actually within you. Your higher self is within you. So when you want to connect to your higher self, I want you to go within. I want you to focus right here. All of you, including your higher mind and your physical self, is all within you. So when you are trying to connect to your higher self, your guides, your past loved ones, which I'm sure a few of you are quite surprised, they are all within you. They are a part of you, as you are a part of all that is. Thank you, Amanda. You are experiencing this reality through your belief systems. If a thing in life, if a situation in life is not feeling good to you, then you must stop and recognize, as the conscious creator that you are, you must stop and recognize that I have assigned a belief to this, and this belief is deemed by me as unfavorable, and I do not prefer it. So then, to work out what belief you have, you must ask yourself this question: what must I believe to be true for this to feel like this? And sometimes the answer to that question is a little bit daunting, and we are actually afraid to have a look at some of our belief systems. But that does not make them not work within you. It just makes you afraid to look at them. So peeling back the layers of your beliefs is actually very helpful, because no matter what you believe, your life is experiencing itself through the filter of that belief system. So when you are feeling something, it does not matter the topic. When you are feeling something that does not feel favorable, ask yourself, what must I believe to be true for this to feel like this? And then do not be afraid to look at it. Being afraid to look at it means that you will continue to have this belief system ongoing. You will continue to experience the negative results of this belief system. You will continue to experience negative emotion because you are afraid to look at your belief systems, even though they are governing your life experience. So stop and look at them. They are right there in front of you. It does not matter the topic, whether it be financial, whether it be relationships, whether it be physical. It does not matter. What must you believe to be true for you to be having an emotional response to it that is negative? And the same is true for positive. Becoming a completely conscious creator, do stop sometimes when you are feeling joy and ask yourself, what must I believe to be true for this to feel positive? I want you to understand that source energy, your higher self, God, the universe, it does not matter the label. I am speaking to all of you. I want you to know that that white light, that energy, that beautiful unconditional love is flowing to you and through you continuously. It is flowing through you and to you continuously. And the way we change, or I'm not going to use the word warp because that's actually a pretty negative word, but the way we filter through this pure white light is through our belief systems. What unconditional love feels like, what God feels like, what your higher self feels like, what your angels feel like is unconditional love. And so if you are a person who has meditated before and allowed yourself to relax, and if you've ever felt that overwhelming joy and peace, that is the pure essence of your higher mind, your higher self, God, the universe. That is it, the feeling of it, the frequency of it, unfiltered. And then what we do is we extract and filter through all that beautiful white light, that unconditional energy, unconditional love. We filter it through our belief systems. And so if you are feeling anything other than I am worthy, I am loved, I am powerful, I am an almighty creator, if you are feeling anything other than that, then you are filtering this beautiful white light, this unconditional love. You are filtering it through a negative belief system. So if you're not sure if you have a negative belief about something, pick a topic, any topic: money, love, relationships, family, environment, physical health. Pick a topic, any topic, and stop for a minute and face the actual truth of what is going on for you, and ask yourself, how do I feel about this? And if it is anything other than joyous, then it is being filtered through an unhelpful belief system. So ask yourself, what must I believe to be true for this to feel that way? And then do not be afraid to look at it, because it is actually still going to govern your life whether you look at it or not. And I want you to know that the pure power that is within you is saying to you, Addie, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this because this is not helpful to you. And I want you to ask yourself, what must I believe to be true to feel this way? And then I want you to go back to your experiences and see where this started. Sometimes, or a good portion of the time, maybe 95%, the first 7 years of our life dictates to us how we are going to perceive the world. And so sometimes we are born into family relationships that do not honor us completely. And that is not your parents' fault. It is also part of what happened to them. So let's not place the blame somewhere. Let's try and remain neutral. And I know some situations are very difficult to remain neutral to, especially if you have been brought up in a situation where there is neglect or abuse. I want you to, as much as you can, try and remain objective and neutral. And because if you dive in head first in negative emotion, and it is okay if you do, you can try again another time. But I want you to know, if you dive in head first in negative emotion, then your higher mind, which is constantly sending you information, constantly aiding you, assisting you, guiding you, then because you are in a lower vibrational state, it makes it a lot more difficult to look at. And it makes it a lot more difficult for your higher mind to send you the helpful information. So go back to the first 7 years of your life. And I want you to look at some of those experiences as best as you can, to the best of your ability, as neutral. And extract from those experiences, having a look at what happened, what did you experience, and how did you believe, how did you come to that belief? looking at them neutrally can help you shift them. Now, of course, it is somewhat difficult, especially in some much more difficult environmental situations. I respect that, and I'm by no means placing a judgment here. It is a guideline as much as possible. See if you don't jump down the rabbit hole. Brittany, I will get to that, sweetheart. Opening your third eye. The reason I have entitled this live, Opening Your Third Eye, and I will get down to some exercises that you can do. But first, you must take the reins, take the wheel of your experience, of your life. I want you to take it in your hands. I want you to know that from this minute forward, that you are to stop and think and feel. What am I experiencing? Write the topics of your life down. What am I experiencing? And how, if this situation is not favorable, how can I have a look at my belief systems and see what it is that I believe so that I can get to the root cause, follow it down the line, get to the root cause and see if I can shift it. And we in life have many examples of people who are experiencing wealth, for example. They very obviously have a very different belief system to someone who is not experiencing wealth. They have a core belief that money comes easy to me. And a good portion of that, mainly about 95%, comes from the first 7 years of their life. Those first 7 years are crucial to you working out how you got to have that belief system. But I want you to know that every part of your life is important, even the negative aspects of it. Every single part of your life is exactly as your higher mind, your soul, has intended it to be. And it comes to you, and I know this is hard to understand, but with no meaning, neutral meaning. You assign the meaning to it. And you assign it through what you believe. There will be people who will have a breakup, a relationship breakup, and rejoice. And there will be other people who have a relationship breakup and it is the end of the world as they have come to know it. Why? Because they have different beliefs associated with the breakup. So it does not matter what the situation is. It always comes with neutral meaning. You assign the meaning. Take your life into your own hands. And if something feels negative to you, stop and have a look at the meaning you have assigned to it. You are not powerless. You are completely in control. And I know that this is hard for most of us because we were not raised in this manner. We were not raised so that we can recognize that we control our lives. We have not been raised like that. So, I've let myself off the hook in that respect, and you too should let yourself off the hook in that respect as well. However, now you know. Now you can begin to become a conscious creator. In other words, there will never be a time in your life that you do not need to stop and have a look at what thought you are choosing to have in that moment. Allowing yourself to be in default setting, which for most of us can be quite negative. Allowing yourself to be in that default setting where you feel helpless, where you feel that this is happening to you. Allowing yourself to be in the passenger seat when your job is to be in the driver's seat makes things 20 million times more difficult. Now, there is actually no need for you to take the driver's seat because, as I said before, life has no associated meaning. So if you want to sort of kick back and let things just happen as they do, that is up to you. However, if you are a type of person who says, actually, no, I would like to take some control here, then recognize that first you must think. That thought will have an associated feeling. That feeling will then bring forth an action. First you think, then you feel, then you take an action. So, it is obvious to say, first, if what it is that I'm thinking, I must stop and look at what I'm thinking. Choose the highest, most joyous thought in any available moment. It's difficult. It takes some practice. It has taken me some practice. My life is by no stretch of the imagination a joyous, harmonious experience. However, I am extracting the meaning out of every situation. I'm not standing here in front of you telling you that I am just some incredible person who does some incredible things. No, that is not true. But I have chosen to be a conscious creator. I have chosen to look at my thoughts, which then have an associated feeling, which then requires an action. And most of us are getting the first one and the last one a little bit screwy. So, choose your thought. So in other words, if a situation seems unfavorable to you, choose the thought. In other words, what can I extract? What positive thing, what positive meaning, what positive feeling can I extract out of what this situation that may be perceived as negative, what can I extract the meaning of it to be, and how can it be a positive thing? How am I learning about myself? Then that feeling will be slightly different because you've tried to assign a positive feeling to it. So the feeling that comes from the initial thought of, how is this serving me, is slightly more positive. Then, and this is the hard part for all of us, the action part, because we have been, and a good part of us, have been in the passenger seat for a long time, myself included. And when it is time to take the wheel, we're like, I don't know how to drive. No. I don't know how to drive. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. And that's okay, because it will take you some time. And so once you put yourself in the driver's seat and you are praying, for example, you pray to God, to the universe, to your higher self, to your guides, it does not matter. Prayer is a form of putting out into the universe what you want. So you've been praying and you've been praying and you've been praying, and your higher mind is continuously, the second that prayer is formed in your head, you don't even have to say it out loud, your higher mind goes, yep, got you. I'm on this. This is what you need to do. But we are so stuck in this negative vibration, we miss it. And then say for a moment there, we are feeling joy and your higher mind's like, oh my God, this is the perfect opportunity. Quick, tell her what she needs to do. We are then asked to take action. And we so often do not take the action. Please, if something inside of you says to you, take action here. The prayer's done. The receiving part is already in the pipelines. Your job now is to take action. Take action. We so often get this feeling like, I probably should call this person, or I should probably go and look into this thing because I've been praying so hard that my bills get sorted out, or that my financial situation gets shifted. And so your higher mind or God or the universe is like, yep, got you. Perfect. All right. So why don't you do this? And you know it. You have this feeling inside of you that I should probably pick up the phone and call this person, because this person somehow, for some reason, sometimes unknown to you, is going to give you a solution. But we are so stuck in the helpless phase that we're like, I don't know. If I call them, maybe they'll say something else. Don't think about it. If your higher mind has said to you, make the phone call or take this action, your job is to take it. Your job is not to know exactly where it's going to lead you, and the answer may not come instantaneously. Your job is, if this is something inside of you that's saying to you, I need to do this action, please do not get lost in the action part of it. Get up and make the phone call. Get up and take the action. Get up and move. The action part is the most important part. Well, is it? You can argue that all three are important, but the action part is what is going to get you results. You've been praying and you've been trying to consciously manifest, and your higher mind or source or God has instantly granted you the answer to your prayers. And I know a lot of you are saying, that's not true. I don't get instantly answered my prayers. My prayers do not get instantly answered. Yes, they do instantly. You are just not on the receiving end of it. So your joy is what is showing you where you need to go. If you are not sure what steps you need to take, then that flicker of joy assigned to any given topic in your life is your little pull to move in a particular direction. So what I'm saying here is, if you are not aware, if you don't have a sentence that's come into your head, or if you don't necessarily recognize that you have a particular pull to take an action, then I want you to follow your joy. Your joy will lead you to your life purpose. Your joy will lead you where you need to go. And sometimes your joy, if filtered through your conscious mind, your joy will tell you to take an action which you may have perceived before to be maybe unethical. Not unethical. Your joy is never going to say to you to harm someone. But your joy may ask you to do something that you previously would not have done. And that's a good indicator that your joy is telling you to take an action that you previously wouldn't have done, which means that your life is going to change. So if your joy is asking you to draw, if your joy is asking you to paint, if your joy is asking you to dance, if your joy is asking you to leave a relationship, if the thought in your mind, if you're in a negative relationship that you're not preferring, and when you think about it, leaving that relationship gives you joy, that is your higher mind sending to you the positive feeling, affirming to you to take the action. Action is important. We all fall short on the action part, myself included. You know, sometimes finances, and that's one of the topics of my experience here on earth that I need to fine tune. So I need to look at, what are my belief systems? Sometimes I take this action and I'm like, I can't be bothered. And I delay it, but then I take it and instantly it gets sorted. So I wanted to talk about some other things. I've written a couple of notes here. Everything that you perceive in your life experience, as I've said before, is filtered through a belief system. But sometimes we get into a pickle. Sometimes life is perceivably going so wrong that we just cannot take another minute of it. And sometimes we get so low that we feel so helpless and we feel like things are being done to us. It is precisely in that moment that I want you to know that you are about to take a change, a sharp turn in direction. And if you perceive life's difficult situations as about to take a sharp turn into a particular direction, because I want you to know, you're not just cruising merrily along and then all of a sudden everything goes haywire, for want of a much more serious expression. Everything doesn't just go haywire. You are pointing in that direction continuously. And so eventually when a situation reaches its peak, and it is the epitome of, I love this word, shitness. It is the epitome of shitness. I want you to know that all this is a crescendo to a sharp turn in a change in life. And this is not the time to stop extracting the positive meaning out of the situation. This is also not the time to stop taking action. Taking action is where you need to be in any situation which is perceived by you as negative. It feels negative. Everything about it is perceivably negative. It is now the time to take action. Do not sit back, curl up in the sofa and go to yourself, I can't, not for one more minute. It is not the time to get back into the passenger seat. It is your time to sit in the front seat, grab that wheel and take action. You must. If your higher mind is saying to you to take action, you must take action. I'm going to go through let me just have a little look. Okay. I'm going to go through a couple of different exercises and how to connect to your higher mind. There is no right or wrong way of doing this. There is no right or wrong way to feel, and there is no right or wrong action. As I said, everything is assigned, you assign the meaning to it. Everything in life is actually neutral in meaning. Hard for us to believe, especially some particularly negative situations. But I want you to know, I have spoken to many different people over the last year or so where I have been doing mediumship readings. And I have spoken to some people who have gone through some, what I perceive through my filter systems, through my belief systems, to be some of the most excruciating life situations that I would never, ever like to be in. I have spoken to people who have lost children, which to me is inconceivable. And I want you to know that there are some people who cannot move forward, and I understand that. But there are some people who have, within such a difficult situation, extracted the positive out of this, recognizing that they are not gone forever, recognizing that this is just your opportunity to do a couple of things, experience a couple of things before you too transition into the non-physical where they are. So I want you to know, even the most negative, perceivably negative situations, you can extract a positive out of it. Nothing is black or white. You add the color to it. So I want to run you through an exercise which I did the other day, which will allow you to connect to your higher mind. And the best way to do that is, and I'm sure a lot of you have, the best way to do that is through meditation. And I know you sort of think to yourself, I don't have time for meditation. Yes, you do. It just has to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever time you give yourself. And I want you to, in this meditation, I'm just going to run you through it. And then I want you to just put some beautiful music on. Just grab some, if you go into YouTube, there's many theta music, or theta, Theta, theta music, which is just high vibrational music. Put that on in the background. Put some theta music on in the background. It's just relaxed. Put it at a gentle volume. And I want you to be seated. Do not lay down, because some of us, especially if you're like me, I'm always tired. Hence the bags under my eyes. I'm always tired. So if I'm laying down in a meditation, that's it. I'm out. See you later. I'm sleeping. So put some theta music on in the background. There's so much of it on YouTube. It's insane. And I want you to be seated. And I want you to take your shoes off. And I want you to place both feet on the ground. And close your eyes, if you will. I find closing my eyes is the most helpful. Or place your eyesight at a gentle spot in front of you and just sort of stare through that spot. So find a spot across the room and stare through that spot. Just, like, I don't know if you've done those 3D images where you have to stare at it, and then if you stare at it long enough, the image sort of comes up. Stare through it. I feel like my eyes closed is most helpful. Then, with your feet firmly placed on the ground, feel some roots or some light, doesn't matter which, coming out through the soles of your feet. And then just See if you can picture that light penetrating the earth and wrap it around its core. So that light that's coming out through the soles of your feet, then bring it back up through you, up through the soles of your feet, up through your legs, up through your torso, and out through the top of your head. And then just picture that light continuously flowing from the earth up through your body, out through the top of your head, and then forming a little white circle. So you're engulfed in this beautiful white light, and it's continuously flowing through the earth. And so when you've done that, there's no right or wrong way. If it feels relaxing, then it is right. Yeah, a pillar of white light. That's nice, Ashley. So then, with your eyes closed or staring off into a spot across the room, I want you to go through and picture your heart chakra opening slowly. Just opening slowly. And if it helps, put your hands there and picture your heart chakra just opening slowly. And some of you, when you put your two hands together, you might actually feel some energy. You might feel some either your hands drawing together or your hands being pulled apart. So I want you to see if you can open your heart chakra. And you can do this by open and close until it feels to you that energy point in your body feels to you as if it is open. Again, there is no right or wrong way to do this. And just go by the feeling of it. Then I want you to do the same thing, whether it helps with your hands or whether you can just imagine it with your mind's eye. I want you to open the throat chakra. Now, you don't even have to understand all these things. You don't have to have a solid 100% understanding of everything for it to be effective for you. But this exercise is very effective. Believe me, I've done it a number of times and I've come out of it absolutely shocked as to what I experienced. So you've opened up your heart chakra, you're opening up your throat chakra, and you just do it, whether you picture it in your mind's eye or whether you use your hands to open it. Then the same thing goes with your crown chakra. So open it up until it feels open. And then what I like to do is I like to join the energy of those three together. Now, it doesn't have to feel a certain way. If you feel relaxed and if you are feeling good, then that is perfect. You are always going for the feeling of something. And as I've said before, your higher mind is continuously filtering through to you and through you positive white light, which your physical self perceives in feelings. And so when something feels positive and relaxing and happy and joyous, then that is the feeling of what you want to achieve. So you've opened up the heart chakra, you've opened up the throat chakra, you've opened up the crown chakra. And then I want you to imagine that there is coming from the sky some beautiful white light that is coming through you, right through your body, right through and right down into your stomach. And so you're breathing this white light in. And with the exhale, you are locking it into your stomach or your solar plexus. And you breathe in and you breathe out. And I want you to sit there and I want you to take those deep breaths in, drawing that white light into you. Breathing in, a nice, deep, slow breath. Breathing out, a nice, slow exhale. Breathing in continuously. And then while you're picturing that, I want you to shift your focus to your breath. I want you to shift your focus to how it feels to breathe in and how it feels to breathe out. Continue to picture that breathing in and then breathing out. Just continuously. Your breath is the key here. Then what I like to do, and this is the most important thing, your higher self at this point, you offer little to no resistance to the information that your higher mind is sending you. In this relaxed state where your attention is focused on nothing other than your breath, or your attention is focused on breathing in that white light, you are pretty much, if not completely, I don't know about completely, but pretty much resistance free. So this is your higher mind's opportunity to be able to connect with you. Then I want you to pick a situation in your life which is the most unfavorable. And say, for example, it is a work-related situation. I want you to, when you're doing this breathing exercise, I want you to picture yourself in a large space. It doesn't matter what this space is. It can be a field, it can be a warehouse, it can be a large house. It doesn't matter. It could just be a large space of no description. And I want you to place this unfavorable work situation in the middle of this space. And I want you to, in your mind's eye, stand 10 feet away from this situation as the observer, not having a particular feeling about it. You are simply observing it. You are observing the situation as it is. You are observing yourself having thoughts. So if you want to picture yourself having neutral thoughts about this negative situation. And then I want you to slowly, as yourself who has been the observer, standing away from this situation, I want you to slowly approach this negative situation. And as you approach, try and remain neutral in perspective. As you approach this negative situation, I want you to allow yourself to feel some of the feelings that you feel in relation to this situation. And I want you to, as neutrally as possible, ask yourself, what must I believe to be true for me to feel this way? Now, for some of you, that might be a little difficult. For some of you, you might just want to place yourself in this situation and feel the feelings, and then ask yourself, what thoughts am I having in relation to this? So for example, if it is a work situation and you feel particularly helpless, standing in this space, you may say to yourself, I feel I am not of value. I feel that I am perhaps over my head with what I'm supposed to be doing here, and I don't feel confident enough to ask for assistance. Or you might say, I feel that I am inferior in this situation, or whatever thought comes to you, because the reason why this exercise is so important is sometimes we are experiencing such negativity in a situation that it becomes so overwhelming, we do not know what we are thinking and feeling about it. And placing yourself in the hands of your higher mind, where it can gently guide you to looking at the situation as best as possible through a neutral perspective, you can see what is going on here for you and what you are actually thinking about the situation. Sometimes a situation goes so far that we no longer know what we are thinking about it. So you are standing there and so if it's a relationship, picture that person in front of you. And they are standing there and they're actually not doing something. So for example, if it's a negative situation where you find yourself in an argument, they're actually not arguing with you. They are just standing there. And I want you to approach them slowly. Approach them in your mind's eye. Stand right in front of them where your face is close to their face. And I want you to look at them. I want you to look at all their vulnerabilities. I want you to look at your beliefs about them. I want you to face them in your mind's eye. And I want you to, if you need to, tell them what it is that you would like them to know. Verbalize it in your mind's eye. Let them know what you would like them to know. Formulate in this relaxed state. Formulate with the assistance of your higher mind what you would like to say to them. It is a safe space. It is a safe space because that person is only there in your mind and you have your higher self to assist you. Become aware of the situation. Then, if this is enough for you, because I did this exercise one time and excuse my expression, but it knocked me on my ass. I woke up out of that and I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm done. I want to do this again. But I want you to know what eventuated. So I did this exercise and I saw some things that I had been denying, because once you see it and you experience, you realize that it's always been in there within you. And the turnaround time in terms of how fast this got rectified for me was 24 hours. 24 hours from facing it, looking at it through the neutral perspective, looking at the thoughts and the feelings I had about it through the neutral perspective. And I will be honest, I didn't remain neutral the entire time. And you may not be able to remain neutral, and that is okay. There is no right or wrong way to do this exercise. But I stepped out of this and I was like, I knew all of that, but I didn't dare think about it. And that's the hard part. We don't dare think about what we are afraid of. And when we don't dare think about what we are afraid of, it still governs our life experience. So because I had dared to think of it, and because I had formulated the sentences of how I felt, and I was completely aware of how I felt, I could then be inspired to take action. And that is the most important part. When you are aware of what you are feeling in any given negative or positive situation, you will then feel an inspired action. You must take that action. Must. And I wanted you to know that this exercise should be done at least twice a week. Please grant yourself the gift of awareness. Grant yourself the gift of being conscious about what you are experiencing. Please grant yourself the ability to be a conscious creator. Now, I do many readings a week, and one of the most often asked questions is, Addie, what's going to happen in the future? I'm reluctant to answer that. I do sometimes talk about which trajectory your life path is going, but I am often reluctant to answer that because there is not one given path. We are not born in a particular set of circumstances and then just outliving a predetermined destiny. That is not true. We have an infinite amount of possibilities. And so when somebody says to me, Addie, what's going to happen in the future? I like to give them back the power. I like to give them back the power by saying, right now, what you are going to manifest within the next 2 months is this. Do you like that? Often it's no, because we're not particularly conscious. And then I say, okay, so if you don't like this situation, what action can you take right now that you already know? Because we are a whole head full of actions that we already know we should be taking. What action can you take right now to ensure that that future, which has yet to be manifested, that future is not going to be created? And I promise you, there are so many actions in your head already being received from your higher mind, already being downloaded, already available to you. There are so many available actions that you already are aware of that you can take instantly. And it is the action part that we can often go wrong, because I promise you, Source, your higher self, the universe, God, Jesus, it does not matter the label. It is all just unconditional love. Prayers get answered instantly. I promise you. And it is your awareness of what next step to take that is stopping you from receiving the answer to your prayers. There is so much action that you can take right now that you are already aware of that you are not taking. So right now, I know that as I'm speaking, there is 60 of you on here. I know that as I'm speaking, you are thinking of a situation, and I know you already know an action that you can take. I want you to dare to take it, even if it does not feel like it might be the answer to everything. You are not necessarily going to get all the answers all at the same time. You do not know what's going to happen once you take the action that they have asked you to take. Your higher mind, not they. You do not know what comes next. But I want you to. Your job is not to know what is going to eventuate from this action. It's not your job to know that. That is your higher mind's job to do that. Your higher mind and yourself, your physical mind are working together. You are one entity, should we say. Part of you is in physical. The larger part of you is in non-physical. The larger part of you, the broader part of you, your higher mind, is in non-physical, guiding you all the time. And I want you to picture your higher mind a little bit. I'm going to use Bashar's analogy because I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing. So your higher mind is like standing on the mountaintop, and it can see you down in the valley, and it is saying to you, Addie, turn left at the tree. And I'm like, shut up, higher mind, you don't know anything. I know that this tree is not a good tree. But your higher mind, which is standing at the top of the mountain, saying to you, you think you know what's past this tree, but you don't, because I am the one that sees it from up here, and your job is to experience it. So I am saying to you, Addie, turn left at the tree. And I can't see why my higher mind is saying that. And so I don't turn left into the tree, and I trip over, fall down, fall into a hole, and then my higher mind's sitting there going, I told her to turn left at the damn tree. Here we go again. All right, Addie, reach up and get out of this hole. You're all right. Nothing really bad's happened. It's okay. And then your higher mind will continuously send you information. Turn left, turn right, take this action. You will not know why your higher mind or why you have a pull within you to take a particular action. You will not know. That is not your job. Your job is to take the action, because that's what you feel like you should be doing. And just trust that your higher mind, from this broader perspective, from the top of the mountain, can see what is next. And then when you get to that next, you will go, actually, I didn't realize that this situation is better. Then you will have a pull to do another action. And your job is to trust your higher mind or the pull within you to take this next action, and you will not know why. It may even seem ridiculous to you that you would do this. It may be perceived as an absolutely ridiculous action, but for some reason inside of you, you feel like you should do it. So then you should. And then what happens is, the more you follow the instructions, the more you follow that instinct to do something, the more you start seeing the results, the more you start going, oh my, wow, this actually turned out miraculously, really quickly, better than I thought, because I had a pull within me to take an action. So take that instinctive action that you have been drawn to for so long, trusting that it is the right thing, because your higher mind, not for one split millisecond, has turned its back on you. Not for one split millisecond have your guides turned their back on you. Not for one split millisecond has God or the universe turned their back on you. They are continuously screaming from the mountaintop, turn left at the damn tree, please. Continuously. You are continuously being guided. Your job is to take inspired action, having faith that your higher mind knows what it is doing. Take the wheel. Do not sit in the back seat anymore. There is nothing back there for you. There isn't. And I know that asking you to change the way you have been thinking and being the way you have governed your life so far is a little difficult. I understand that. It will take some practice, and go easy on yourself. There is no required time. But I want you to know that you are not left here in the wilderness not knowing what to do. You are always being guided. And I want you to know that your instinct is your higher mind or God or the universe saying to you, please take this action and have faith. Even though right now you are walking through some thick fog, please have faith that at the other end of this thick fog is the clarity and the joy you so deserve. You do not need to know why you are being drawn in a particular direction. All you need to know is that you are being drawn there. And I want you to know that meditation is a very important aspect, especially if you're having a particularly rough time. And the reason why meditation, it doesn't even have to be something in particular. It could just be you closing your eyes and picturing yourself walking around a beautiful field smelling flowers. It is during that time where your mind is clear, or as clear as it can be, where you are resistant of negative emotion, and your higher self and God or the universe or whatever beautiful label you want to call it, it is during that time that they are sending you lots of information, which you will filter through a little later on. This is, for me, the most important live I have ever done, because I want you to have a good time. So many of us are not. And if you can take even just a few of the words that I've said during this live and use them and extract some of the information and actually put it into action, I promise you, your life will get much easier. If you have any questions at all about any given situation, my inbox is always open, always. If you would like to find out a little bit more, my inbox is always open. And those who have reached out to me, will be able to tell you that I reply to everybody. So, if you want to know something else, if you have a particular situation that you just don't know how to get to the bottom of, I am happy for you to send me a little message, and I am happy to assist you to work out the inbuilt belief system that you have created for yourself. You are a beautiful, incredible, powerful person, and I want you to take life in your own hands. I thank everybody who stuck through this with me. I felt very passionate in being able to send this information to you. And I want you to know that from this moment on, you get to choose your life experience. It's all you. I'm sending so much love to each and every one of you. Have an incredible rest of your day. And if you need something from me, I am always available for a chat.